Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've said this before in other videos, but winter is a very difficult and harsh time for a toy photographer, especially if you like to shoot primarily outside, because it gets really cold and it's really cold and there's snow and it gets dark really fast, so it's kind of difficult. It's very, very difficult. So earlier in the winter when this all started, I bought some action figures that would be perfect for the winter so I can make a Hoth Toy Photography video. So that's what this is all about, the wonderful winter wonderland of Hoth. So the one thing different I'm doing in this video is I've already actually taken all the shots, and I'm just going to kind of explain them afterwards, and hopefully I'll be able to be a little bit more in-depth with the breakdown of the behind the scenes and how I did the shots with a afterward perspective. Also, if you notice what I'm wearing currently, an official Sirdork hoodie. Thank you to anyone that's bought any t-shirts or hoodies so far. You're making me very happy. It's just been really, really great so far, just the response with these shirts. So I have hoodies and t-shirts with my official logo on them on my web store. I'll have the link down below. It's also going to be right up here. It's shirts, hoodies, and prints and everything. Please check it out. Okay, without wasting any more time, let me get into the first shot. So the first one, I had the Black Series Tauntaun. And I didn't use the Han Solo that came with it because I like stormtroopers. And I used the AT-AT pilot. Very Empire Strikes Back, Hoth appropriate kind of guys. I set them up in the snow. I didn't need any wires. The snow kind of held them in place. And I really am utilizing the sunlight. So what always works the best for me whenever I'm doing like snow effects or water effects or dirt, I always try to have as much sunlight as possible. When I have lots of light, it'll capture every little particle of snow or water that I'm taking a picture of, and it makes it come out pretty cool. So I stuck them right in the sunlight, and I use my light reflector, so I have the light coming from behind and then bouncing off the reflector onto the figure in the front. So I have light coming from all directions. Basically, once I had them set up, I put my timer on, held my light reflector there, and just kicked up a bunch of snow and took several shots, and then I got only a couple that were good enough, and then I kind of layered them together in Photoshop, and it came out like this. And if you're wondering how I layer things together in Photoshop, I do have a video all about how I layer everything together to make the perfect whatever photo. So check that one out. I'm gonna have it right up here, and yeah, that was that shot. Pretty simple. So for the next shot with Darth Vader, I used my wonderful hyper real Darth Vader action figure by Hasbro. This guy is so cool. It's the only one really of his kind yet that is out, and he's so cool. He's a little bigger than the normal 6-inch Black Series. He's 8 inches. It definitely took a second for me to get used to shooting this size, because I don't really usually shoot figures this big. This shot had a bit more going on with the setup. So I put him in a pose, and luckily I had the snow to keep him in place, and I actually just used a couple sticks that I found in the woods near my apartment to keep his cape up, because I really wanted to have his cape flowing in the wind. That was something I really wanted to make sure the picture didn't look static. And I wanted a red light reflecting on him, so I used my Lume Cube and I put my red filter on it to make a nice red on there. That showed up pretty nice in the photo. And if you're interested in those Lume Cubes, I can get you 10% off. I always have my link below with my promo code in the description. Check them out. Lume Cubes are the way to go for toy photography. And I set up a really big crackling ball firework behind and lit that sucker up. and we get that beautiful explosion in the background. And for pretty much any time I do almost any shot, the main thing in the camera settings is my shutter speed. I turn it as fast as possible. I think it's 4,000. The quicker it is, the easier it is to pick up every little particle or explosion that's going on in the photo. It really makes it pop. That's how I like to do it. So basically I had everything set up just like that. Lit off the firework, and I held down the camera, and I took a bunch of shots. And I didn't really do a whole lot of layering on this. Actually, the lightsaber effect that I have on Darth Vader, I use a tutorial from another toy photographer actually on YouTube by AF Toy. I know I've mentioned him before, but that's actually how I learned to make the lightsaber effect in Photoshop, using his tutorial. He's a great photographer, a great guy. Check out his channel. You'll learn how to do lightsaber effects the same way I do. Also, just for toy photography in general, I have an entire playlist dedicated to all my tutorials when it comes to explosions or debris effects, anything. It's all in there. Everything I know how to do basically is in there. So please check those out. They might help you out too. Okay, so the next shot here was a very experimental shot. I did a lot of new things in it, basically. So I have the Wampa here, which is a Black Series pack that came out a while ago. Comes with Luke. He's already got some blood on him right here, but he is so cool. And I used my good old Stormtrooper, Snow Trooper Black Series figures in it also. I really wanted to experiment with blood effects in this one. So I set everything up. I had the Wampa kind of in his position in the snow, and I put the other Stormtrooper on a wire like this to make it look like he's getting hit back. And then I put the other Stormtrooper in front, trying to run away. So, and I also put some loom cubes in the snow to make sure I have the exact amount of lighting. You know, I need tons of light to make sure the whatever splatter effect comes out. And I put some fake blood. It's the same. It's fake blood I bought in Halloween time from a Halloween store. Been holding on to it for a while, and I poured it into a spray bottle. Then I kind of just held down the trigger of my camera, fast shutter speed, and I squirted right at the trooper and tried to hit him. And I tried to capture the best splatter effect as possible. And I only really had one try, because once I shot, he was just completely covered in blood. And if I were to try it again, I would get a totally just like saturated, bloody mess already. So I only really had one shot, and it came out okay. Not too bad. I think I have a lot to learn with that. I think what probably would have worked better is if the blood was a little bit thinner. If I maybe added some water to it, would have been more splattery and splashy, might have worked out better. It probably would work just fine with water and like red food coloring. That probably would be easier too. Plus, right after I finished the shot, I rinsed off the figure in the sink, and I didn't get stained at all, so don't worry about that. Just be quick with it. And I think maybe once I kind of get better at it, I'll do a whole video on blood effects. So one day, maybe in the summer when it's warmer out. And also I took a couple shots where I just kind of kicked the snow up into the air so we could have like a nice blizzard looking effect too. And then I layered them together in Photoshop to make this. And it wasn't too bad. I think could have been a little better. I think I could have posed the one Stormtrooper in the front a little better. Could have, you know, there's always room for improvement. And anytime I look at any shot, I'm like, that probably could have been a little bit better. But overall, it was a good learning experience, and it was a ton of fun, like always. Okay, so this next shot I did with Luke. I used the Black Series figure right here that came along with the Wampa. And this is kind of an older figure. It came out a few years ago. So the technology that Hasbro had with the face wasn't quite on par as it is now. So a lot of the faces don't look that good. And I just I didn't really like the figure in general because of that. So what I did is I took like an old shirt and cut it up, and I kind of made a little scarf so you can't really see his face too much. But in the end, it was kind of cool, and it took like 5 minutes. Give it a try. Custom things are fun. And I kind of put him in a really basic pose, and I just put the stormtroopers on the ground to make it look like they were dead. And I put a lume cube right on him also, just with the blue filter, so you could have a nice blue light on him also. And then I just kind of set the timer and kicked more snow over in his direction, and I got a bunch of pictures. And I didn't have to do much layering for this either. I kind of just had like one good shot of the snow and then another good shot of just like the blue light on him and combined them. And it came out like that. Very, very simple setup. Not hard to do. Make sure you have lots of light, shutter speed to get, you know, the snow to look exactly like that. And trust me, my hands and my body, anytime I take a photo like this, are suffering because it's cold. And I'm using my bare hands to like kick the snow, which I probably could use gloves, but I'm just an idiot. Okay, so for the last shot in the video, I just used one Black Series Snow Trooper. Again, I've had these guys for a while. I mean, he's got some burn marks in the back here from one time in the past I blew him up, but he's awesome. So I basically took a wire, I wrapped it around his waist, kind of hid it in his little skirt. Put him in a cool like jumping pose. I really like the jumping pictures where they're jumping. I don't know, it's cool. And I really had a cool angle, which is kind of like the inspiration behind why I set it up here, because I had the sun right behind me, and it was kind of foggy, and just like everything was really nicely lit, I guess. So that's why I set it up exactly where I did, this is all like in the parking lot basically of my apartment complex. All of these shots are either right in my parking lot or right off to the side where there's like some grass area, snowy grass area. And I kind of had the shot set up right there, and it looked kind of cool, but I wanted to add some explosions because that's me, and I just can't take a normal shot. I have to have some kind of explosion or something going on. So I took a few shots as is, just for like reference, and then I lit off a crackling ball explosion, and I used this really cool sparkler, taking a bunch of shots, and I also took my normal sparklers and I put it in front of the lens to get the cool bokeh effect in the front, and I actually did a lot of layering in this shot, and this is a combination of quite a few different effects and photos that I took, and it came out pretty cool. Not so bad. This is actually the first time I've used that one sparkler that's off to the left hand side of the photo, and you can't go wrong with a nice trooper shot. I hope you guys agree. So those are all the Hoth related photos I really have right now. But let me know how you guys enjoyed how I kind of explained the photos after the fact as opposed to explaining it as I'm taking them, how I usually do it in my photos. Let me know if you like that. Maybe I'll change it up a little bit sometimes. But either way, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like or a subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. All the photos will be on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media you use. I have it. It's all linked below. Check out everything down there. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.